Welcome back to Hello Nigeria. It's time for our second interview, and our guest is seated with us in the studio. It's not her first time, but her story is ever new, ever refreshing, and always bringing hope to our faces, hope to our hearts, and a constant reminder that indeed there is always light at the end of the tunnel. She's the founder of Irede Foundation, a foundation that is dedicated to bringing happiness and smiles to children around Nigeria who have suffered from limb loss, whether acquired or congenital. Her name is Irede Chigbu. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
It's so good to see you. It's been a while.
It is good to see you.
We see each other on social media, but we don't get to see. But thankfully, social media has that way of connecting us together and helping us to feel like we're aware of what's going on in each other's lives.
True.
All right, so I've heard this story before, but I never get tired of hearing it again. The story of the Irede Foundation. Because why I like you to share that story, because there are many people in life who are watching, who are dealing with one pain or the other, who have decided to just sit down and cry and dwell in self-pity. You had a very challenging situation, and like we often say, life handed you lemons and you made lemonade out of it. So give us a background story of how Irede Foundation came about.
So basically what happened was I gave birth to my daughter. It's now 9 years. She's going to be 9 this year. And when I gave birth to her, she did not have a bone in her leg. And not just that she didn't have, the tibia, she also did not have a knee. So she didn't have a bone, the bone that made the knee cap. And so we were told that we had to amputate the leg. And of course, at that time, it was really very traumatizing. And honestly, it's still traumatizing every time you need to think about it. But eventually, when she turned 2, we decided to go ahead with the amputation. We did the amputation for her. And after we did the amputation, she got a prosthetic limb and started using artificial limbs. And doctors will call me from time to time and say, oh, we have a mother here, or we have this family here. They're not sure of whether they should do the amputation for their child or not. Would you please talk to them? And, we kept talking to people, and I just saw the need for us to have an avenue where we could reach out to more people. And I was sharing with someone recently, and I said, what we do at the Irede Foundation is basically the things that I went through. So first, the education and stigmatization that has to do with disability. So we wanted to educate the society so we can reduce societal stigmatization. Then we do what we call encourage. And encourage for me, because at the time we amputated Beulah's limb, it was basically family that we had. So we wanted to be support for as many people as need go through the same issues in life. And the third thing we do is empowerment. And for us, really, empowerment is having to give prosthetic limbs so that they can get back to school, so that they can live a normal life. Because our vision is for them to be able to live a life, a full life, in spite of the amputation that they've been through. So basically, that's what gave birth to Irede Foundation, giving birth to a child without a limb, and then having to share my story with everybody else that will have to go through the same or is going through the same, so that they don't, they have a better life,
the way you sound, you make it sound so easy, like, oh, you just had a child, she didn't have limbs and she didn't have a kneecap, and you just set up a foundation and you're helping other people. It sounds so colorful right now. How painful was it at the time?
Really very painful. I was devastated. I asked a lot of questions because I'm Christian by faith, and I had a lot of questions because especially when you feel like, you've had everything put together, your life's been together, and I really was like, why would this happen to me? I tried to question. I was taking, being to the hospital at the right time, my antenatal, I never missed any day. So really, it was devastating. Sometimes it's still devastating. I still cry. I still really do cry when some things happen and I feel like, oh, this girl will be able to do a little bit more. But my comfort is in all the other smiles that I see. So it's easier now to manage it because God has helped me through it. Everyday life, every child I see who has a smile. Just before I came here, there was a family sitting at the reception in my office, and they will be giving a limb for their child. And I saw 2 kids. And I was so excited because I can already see ahead that, they are going to be fine and their life will be fine. So I think that's the consolation that I have. But trust me, it's not easy. There's no pain that is easy to bear.
You mentioned that you had started thinking about different things. You started thinking about your antenatal and how you responded. Now we find that most times when there's a complication of some sort at the birth of a child, mothers tend to blame themselves a lot. Sometimes we even have the fathers blaming the mothers, saying, oh, you should have eaten more vegetables, you should have eaten more fruits. And I'm sure you went through some measure of guilt.
Yeah, I went through, and I went through a lot of guilt, and that's why I'm grateful for the man I married.
Yes, I was going to ask, how was your husband's response, and how did you deal with the guilt?
For every time he saw that I was being guilty, he would remind me and say, it is not your fault. It's not your fault, and this is our child, not your child. So it's my implantation, and this is why you have this baby. So it's not just what. So every time he spots me crying and he will ask me, so why are you crying? Is it because you think that you caused this? Is it because because I was so much into my career, I did a lot of travel. I still do a lot of travel because I love traveling. And he kept reminding me that it wasn't my fault. And if there's anybody out there going through a pain, a hurt, and you think it's because of what you did or because of what you did not do, I just want to encourage you that it's not your fault. Sometimes it's just a part of your life's journey. And when you go through that journey, I mean, today, Irede Foundation has become that story, case studies, even for some universities here in Nigeria. And for me, I'm like, it wouldn't have been. But today, if you're going through guilt, it's not your fault.
Thank you for sharing that. Now, sometimes we are so fixated on the destination that we forget to enjoy the journey, to take along the joys, to take along the waiting season, and to also learn lessons from the pain that we experience during the journey. The Irede Foundation is your journey.
Yeah.
You've mentioned the first one, that if someone is out there dealing with guilt or pain, they should first of all know that it's not their fault.
It's not their fault.
What are the other lessons you've learned in this journey of yours?
Actually, I have a book, a free ebook. So if anybody wants it, they can get it. What I called Lemons to Lemonade, Adversity Beatdown. And one of the things I've learned on this journey is to speak up. And when I mean speak up, sometimes you're going through so much, and if you're not talking to anybody about it, you're keeping it to yourself, you sometimes will kill yourself because someone else is going through it. There's nothing new under the sun. So that thing you're going through, someone else is going through it. So case in point for mine, I remember after we did the amputation, the doctors told us that we would change the limbs every 2 years. But I remember after talking to an older parent at that time that had an 18-year-old that was an amputee, and at there using limbs from when she was about 2 years old, the woman told me that they had to keep changing the limbs. So that gave us insight into the fact that it wasn't going to be 2 years. It was going to be like 4-6 months. So that prepared and helped. So a lot of times when people are going through stuff, they should speak out about it. And then sometimes also, what I've also learned is stay together. It was easier for us to manage because my husband and I, family, we all decided to stay together. We stayed together through the journey. So when one person is weak, the other person would lift the other person up and say, no, it's okay. And my husband had his own very dark moments too, when I was the stronger person. And I would say, don't worry now, Chibi, we said we will do this. She will be fine. Hey, you said she's going to be fine. And, just remind him of the things in you. And sometimes family members and friends will just come around. So team up with other people, connect with other people to say, hey, this is where I am, and then act. We are so religious and so cultural in this part of the country that we don't do anything about the situation. So you see that child has a disability or something, and you don't take any, and you stay at home, and that is usually the case with most people that even get amputated. So they keep the child at home. They're not doing anything about it. The child is not going to school, is not socializing, then probably can't talk, then probably, see other people and start running away, and they keep piling it up because they're not talking to anybody about it. So please act about the situation. In our own case, what we had to do was do the amputation. Sometimes for people that have cerebral palsy, maybe take the child to school to learn. Sometimes, just ask, what's the diet that I need to take? What do I need to do for this child? So if you take an action about that thing, then you'll be happy at the end of the day. I'm glad we took the action to amputate. I'm glad that today she has a prosthetic limbs because she can now. The last time I was here, she wasn't able to ride a bicycle. Now she rides a bicycle.
Brilliant.
And very well at that because
Brilliant.
I can't ride a bicycle as much as she can.
So for people who do not know, Beulah is one of the most strongest children you'd ever meet. Very, very beautiful bubble of sunshine. Everyone who has met her always has positive feedback. What are the things that Beulah can do?
Beulah swims, so she swims very, very well. She swims in a 13-feet pool, so she swims. She just recently learned to ride a bicycle, so she rides a bicycle very, very well. She likes singing and acting and all over the place. So she does sing, she dances. She likes to dance, so she dances a lot. And of course, trust me, she likes to be the bigger sister to her younger brother. So.
I'm really so excited that you're sharing all this, because there are parents out there who might think that, you know, amputation is the end of the world. From Beulah's story, we hope that her story will be a story of hope that would encourage you to realize amputation is actually not the end of the world. It's how you choose to deal with this seeming disability that will determine if it's the end or the beginning of a new chapter. You've written a book about your story, the Irede story.
Irede.
So you wrote everything, the lessons, the challenges.
The challenges I faced, the way, what happened, what we did when it happened, how we reacted, how I personally reacted from a woman's point of view, a bit of, you know, some stories from my husband also. I mean, it's a full story. It's a full story, and different people have read the book and they've come up with different things, even different from, I've had people that have read the book and their challenge is not disability. Someone read the book and she lost her child, and he helped her to be able to get back her life. She actually went into depression. She got back her life, and now she has triplets. So it's multidimensional. You can pick a lot from the story.
How can people get this book?
The book is available on Amazon for people that are probably not living in Nigeria. You have the Kindle version on Amazon, and it's available in Latana bookstores. It's available in Ebano stores. It's available in different places. And then you can just reach out to the Irede Foundation and you will get the book also.
All right. These books are very important. When you expose yourself to information, they would help you deal with crisis. And in times of darkness and depression, sometimes really, nobody can be able to speak to you but a person who has been through something similar to the pain that you're experiencing. Chigbu Crystal has found her purpose from her pain, and congratulations on that.
Thank you.
All right, very quickly, you have the Irede Foundation provides prosthetic limbs for children who have been amputated.
Who have been amputated and cannot afford it.
All right.
We also do mentoring for all the children that we know that have gone through that. We do awareness on disability, and so we actually do that also through our Out on a Limb walk to engage everybody and realize that the society is not just for some people, and some people will be exempted. And we have a support group for parents of, you know, children that have been amputated and those that are going through have children with disabilities.
And for those who want to be a part of it, some people might not have someone who's directly related to them who is dealing with amputation, but you don't want to go through life not feeling like you've ever been able to help anybody. Irede Foundation provides prosthetic limbs for children, and these prosthetic limbs need to be changed every 2 years. So please visit the iradefoundation.org for more information, how you can contribute, how you can be a part and give to this noteworthy cause. You have a walk coming up.
Yes, we have our walk coming up. It's our awareness walk, and I'm excited about it.
When is it happening?
It's happening on the 14th of April, 2018.
Yes.
And it's happening across like 30 locations. So you don't have to be in Lagos to participate in the walk. It's happening across Abeokuta, and even in Lagos, we have it happening also in Ikorodu. Wow. And it's happening by 7 a.m. Awolowo Road, YMCA building, same venue. All the information available across our social media platform, and I would love to see you there. I want everybody to be a part of the work. If you're in Germany, if you're in the UK, if you're in Ghana, if you're...
So it's happening all in different parts of the world.
In different parts of the world at the same time.
14th April.
14th April.
Time?
Time is 7 a.m.
And for Lagos, the point of convergence is?
YMCA building on Awolowo Road, Ikoyi.
All right.
And it's 2 kilometers. And for those in Ikorodu, it's happening from the General Hospital in Ikorodu.
From General Hospital, Ikorodu. For more information, people can follow you at...
the Irede Foundation across all social media platforms.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us, Crystal.
Oli.
Follow at the Irede Foundation to find out more information on how you can be a part of the work, and more importantly, how you can donate to the cause. Remember that a life not having impacted anyone is a life not well spent. We'll be right.
To enjoy more of these our Ogbonge videos when you just watch, press this button to subscribe on top of our YouTube page. You go love her.